Welcome to the Pencil Bob channel. I hope you enjoy the story. Remember to like and subscribe. And now the story. Do us a favor, if you don't like something about one of our videos, don't just hit the thumbs down. Leave us a comment so we can improve. Thanks.
In the enchanting enclave of Maplewood Glen, where meticulously manicured lawns and pastel-hued houses painted a charming tableau of serenity, Fred Williams carved out his abode. A man in the prime of life, Fred was no ordinary suburban dweller. He was a maestro of gardening, turning his modest home into a canvas adorned with vibrant flowers and presided over by a seemingly innocuous garden gnome. Little did Fred realize that this unassuming gnome would soon unfurl a tapestry of absurdity and revenge, weaving its way into the very fabric of Maplewood Glen. Fred, a nonchalant custodian of his slice of suburban paradise, proudly stood as a conscientious objector to the rigid rulebook of the Homeowners Association, HOA. This defiant choice granted him the freedom to cultivate his garden without the stifling shackles of the neighborhood's restrictive guidelines. In the heart of this peaceful rebellion stood Fred's home, a sanctuary of colors and fragrances, a testament to his refusal to conform. However, as the sun-dappled days of tranquility unfolded, Fred's idyllic existence was suddenly cast into the shadows of uncertainty. A cascade of ominous notices, like dark clouds on the horizon, began inundating his mailbox, each bearing the seal of the HOA. The peaceful hum of suburban life was replaced by the disconcerting rustle of warning letters and veiled threats, signaling a storm brewing in the once harmonious Maplewood Glen. The notices, signed by the self-proclaimed Pious monkey himself, aka Ted Janter, the HOA president, condemned Fred's garden gnome as a threat to the neighborhood's solemnity code. According to the Pious monkey, the gnome's suspicious happiness was disrupting the delicate balance of serenity Maplewood Glen was renowned for. Wilma, Fred's wife, couldn't fathom the absurdity of the situation. "What are you going to do about this, Fred?" she asked, eyeing the stack of violation notices and fines. Fred, a man of few words, simply shrugged and muttered, "Ignore him. It's just a gnome." Unbeknownst to Fred, Ted Janter had taken personal offense to the perceived violation of the neighborhood's sacred tranquility. The Pious monkey, a man with an inflated sense of authority, began banging on Fred's door one afternoon, demanding compliance. As Fred opened the door, a scowl etched across his face. The confrontation escalated. In the midst of the confrontation, the imposing figure of the Pious monkey, a self-appointed enforcer of the Homeowners Association's draconian rules, loomed over Fred Williams. The air crackled with tension as the Pious monkey's booming voice echoed through the suburban air. "Williams, you've neglected your fines, and that suspiciously gleeful gnome of yours has overstayed its welcome," the Pious monkey declared, a mix of authority and disdain dripping from every word. With a sweeping gesture, he pointed accusingly at the seemingly innocent garden ornament, casting an ominous shadow over what was once a source of joy for Fred. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the gnome's whimsical grin now seemed to take on a more sinister undertone, caught in the crossfire of a battle between individualism and the iron grip of conformity in the tranquil neighborhood of Maplewood Glen. Fred, unfazed and with a dry smirk, retorted, "I'm not part of your HOA circus, monkey. Take your fines and leave." The Pious monkey, undeterred, declared that the entire neighborhood was being offended, threatening legal action against Fred. Fred, not one to back down, scoffed, "Good luck with that. Now get off my property and never come back." As the Pious monkey retreated, Fred couldn't resist a parting volley of vulgarities, ensuring that the neighborhood would remember the day the Pious monkey met his match. Little did Fred know, this encounter would trigger a revenge so absurd and comical that Maplewood Glen would never be the same again. Undeterred by the looming threat of legal action, Fred decided to turn the tables on the Pious monkey in a way that would leave the neighborhood in stitches. He concocted a plan to flood his front yard with an army of garden gnomes, each more suspiciously happy than the last. Late at night, under the cover of darkness, Fred and Wilma executed their whimsical revenge. They strategically placed 50 garden gnomes across their front yard, each one adorned with an exaggerated grin, dancing poses, and some even sporting quirky accessories like oversized sunglasses or Hawaiian leis. The next morning, Maplewood Glen awoke to a sight that defied all logic and reason. Fred's front yard had transformed into a whimsical gnome haven, a spectacle that left the entire neighborhood in awe. Residents gathered, giggling and pointing at the eccentric army of gnomes that now outnumbered the blades of grass. As the pious monkey strolled past Fred's house, his jaw dropped, and his eyes widened in disbelief. The absurdity of the situation struck him like a punchline he never saw coming. The pious monkey, who prided himself on upholding the neighborhood's solemnity, was faced with an army of rebellious gnomes openly mocking his authority. Unable to comprehend the scale of the gnomish retribution, the pious monkey stormed towards Fred's doorstep, demanding an explanation. Fred, standing on his porch with a mischievous grin, calmly retorted, "You wanted the gnome gone. I got rid of one and brought in 50. Problem solved." The pious monkey, red-faced and sputtering, found himself at a loss for words. The neighborhood, once stifled by the rigidity of the HOA's rules, erupted in laughter and applause for Fred's ingenious revenge. The absurdity of the situation became the talk of the town, overshadowing the pious monkey's attempts at maintaining order. In the end, the pious monkey had no choice but to retreat, defeated by the sheer absurdity of Fred's retaliation. The gnomes, now beloved symbols of rebellion, remained in Fred's front yard, a testament to the triumph of individuality over oppressive rules. As the sun set on Maplewood Glen, the gnomes continued to stand guard, their mischievous grins reflecting the victory of one man's determination to protect his freedom and defy the absurdity of the neighborhood's solemnity code. And Sir Fred Williams, the gnome warrior, became a legend, celebrated by the community as a symbol of resistance against the whims of the pious monkey and the overbearing nature of the HOA.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.